strategy has to change, and the state, the inclusion of the young people has to be very much, and prosecutors' offices are capable of having criminal politicians if the prosecutors are afraid of the political class and has made pacts with the political class, like I said and to Humberto Martinez, and I also told to a prosecutor whose name was Iguaran, and also Luis Camilo Osorio. I didn't tell him because I discovered that he was linked, and through confession we can know it today, to the paramilitary groups. If the prosecutor's office is not capable of cutting these links with criminal activity, it won't be able to cut the links of these gangs with the traditional politics that exchange votes and money for protection in the prosecutor's office. And I would ask the general prosecutor that some say that she was mine and I didn't even know her. Pay attention if, because you are in your position, you have ended up doing transactions with the working positions in the prosecutor's office, because political transactions only serve to protect criminals in the territory from where the politicians are from. The police in Colombia is going to change. I have asked for the change in the director. He has done a great job, but there are failures that I believe we have to improve, especially the subject of Amalfi. I have analyzed of the young men who died from the police, and I will give a report in a different opportunity. The time here is reducing of the 40 minutes that I was given. So the police of Medellin, I also have to receive a report with more details. That's why I'm not moving forward. In Medellin, we can't have para-police that is prohibited by the Constitution of Colombia. Of all the mobilizations that have been happening in the world, that have been immense in the days before the ceasefire signed in Europe, Africa, Latin America, North America, etc., there was only one violence act of the state against those who were manifesting, and that was in Medellin, and it has a protagonist, the police that are also paramilitaries that the local administration has set up. If we are already overcoming the paramilitarism, now we have to overcome parapolices, and here the police has to articulate themselves with the neighborhood populations and the youth of Colombia. The youth politic is in peace, and it has been linked with the tax, and it hasn't turned into money in the hands of the youth that has been surrounded politically, and I consider it has been surrounded with corruption, and it has to unlink itself, because these youths in these cities where they are killing still in a lower number than in 1993, we have to include them socially, independently of their nationality. The police that we're going to have is a police that is capable of capturing the gang, but also of giving the youth, lending a hand. And I wish the prosecutor's office that we have, once it delivers those who were captured, doesn't have anything with the politicians that have relationships with these gangs in these kinds of situations. I have explained then the reality of a violence that today we suffer, still without falling into hysteria. The homicide rate in Colombia has lowered if compared to the past, but the police of Colombia has presented levels for this year of homicides where it is undervalued as an indicator. I know that among the numbers that legal medicine delivers and these numbers that the police gives, there's differences that will always exist because the concepts of homicide are different. And in that I agree that, for example, the homicide unintentional that is counted in legal medicine doesn't work to measure the violence because it is related to accidents and things of that sort, but it's not what happens with the tendency. If the tendency is not the same in the numbers of the police and of legal medicine, there is something that is being hidden. And the numbers that I have been delivered of homicide growing 3% in the police numbers, and it has grown 8% in the numbers of legal medicine. And with those numbers, we're not going to have a policy that works. That is why I have demanded changes. Finally, this panorama of the coca leaves and cocaine and the lower potential that we really have, its impact in homicides that is translated to hitmen in the city, as we have seen here, and its places and the ways to face it, and the complexity of hitmen's activity in Colombia, especially of homicide. It has consequences that then, and here we are entering the end